Okay, Boyle, get down. Okay, good. Here, honey.
Okay, we want to do about a 10-minute video.
Okay.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to Museum Diaries. It's been a while. We haven't been able to keep producing content for you guys because there's so much that's going on. Veronica and I, Jax, are going to get you guys caught up and let you know what's been going on. So, let's begin with the sale of our home.
Yes. Well, our father left the home to us, and we both had a talk about it. He wanted us to keep it, and it really is part of Museum Americana. So the property will just fall into the account of Museum Americana, essentially.
So we're going to keep the
You'll
house.
live here forever.
Yeah,
I will.
It's Veronica's inheritance. I get to inherit it.
And then Juliet.
And then Juliet ultimately can keep it or sell it or live in it.
Or, yeah, or have tenants.
She always
whatever.
has a home when she comes to LA. So that's a good thing. We didn't end up moving to the desert after all. We're looking at Lancaster, Palmdale area, and it's a good thing we're not out there because it's really hot right now.
It was horrendous. But they couldn't, one of the things that was brought to us is that it would not behoove us to sell the home when it's going to be rising to about $1 million in a few years. So
this home,
yeah.
this property.
So we want to keep it for sure. And then it'll just go higher.
Yeah, and it'll be a nice inheritance for Juliet because by the time my age, this house will be paid off. It'll be worth $1 million. She can do whatever she wants to the home, with the home.
Right.
So, but anyhow, that's what's going on with the house. This is now our permanent home base. We're not going anywhere.
Museum's home will always be here.
Yes.
Just so you know.
And we're talking about in the future having private showings of our museum once we...
By invitation only.
Yeah, we ended up boxing a lot of our artifacts into storage, and we have to retrieve things back so we can have proper showings of the museum here, Museum Americana, here in Arleta. For exclusive, we're going to have it available for Patreons, of course, that follow us on Patreon.
Curators.
But for other people in the art industry in the future, you know, soon as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that's what's going on with that. I had a seizure, as you're aware, on June 18th, and it caused me to fracture my right arm right below the ball joint right here.
It was terrifying.
And
it was terrifying.
I actually was experiencing pain today because I've been doing a little bit of lifting and moving things around because we're getting ready to take on a new tenant, and he's very private, so I'm not going to talk much about him, but we're taking on a new tenant, and he's going to be a perfect fit for Museum Americana. We're so happy about that. And, but I'm healing. By September 1st, I should be fully recovered, if not close to. I'm not wearing my arm sling anymore because I can move my arm now. I can lift it, and I couldn't do this before. So there's things that I can do now that I wasn't able to do before. Mm-hmm. So that's what's going on with that. And of course, we've mentioned it in our 4th of July video that our dear friend who's also homeless, you guys have seen her pop up in our videos every now and then, Yoli, aka Julie. As I told you, she went into the hospital. She was severely beaten. It looked like an attempted murder.
Definitely.
So she had brain swelling, broken ribs, and her brain swelling has finally subsided.
But in the interim, they've had to remove portions of her skull. So right now she's missing part of her skull. So
the right half of her skull.
Just the brain is, just the brain is, you can see the difference. Because without the skull, the head,
the skin collapses over the brain.
Yeah, so it's just over the brain. And there's like about a gap about so deep, so it's pretty horrendous. And then she's got these staples that go all the way from her forehead all the way back. He really did a number to her. He really is dangerous.
Yeah, we think the boyfriend did it because he's tried to hurt her. He's hurt her. His son has severely hurt her in the past, as we've talked about this before.
And this was really severe. This was severe.
Yeah, but she's recovering. She's been in the hospital a little over a month now.
She has broken
and
ribs.
They did a tracheotomy on her right here so she can breathe better.
Because she was on a respirator.
Yeah, they were going to do a feeding test to see if they can get her to eat through her mouth now. And that's where we're at with her. She can communicate now. Veronica's been able to visit her in the hospital.
You can't bring flowers anymore to hospitals. So Jackie went to the store and picked up some artificial flowers in a vase for her. So that's nice. It kind of lifts her spirits. And we want to bring cards to her whenever we go, just to kind of brighten up the environment for her. She's working with a social worker, and our hope is that she'll have housing as a battered woman. She should be eligible. And this way, no one can know where she lives. We can, but no one else. And that way she'll be safe till something more permanent, you know.
Yeah. So we're in contact with her family, between the family and her closest friends, because she's got quite a few in the community. She's very friendly, very serviceable.
Loyal, honest.
She knows a lot of people.
Doesn't steal.
She helps a lot of people around our neighborhood. So there's a lot of people that are praying for her recovery, that are wanting to see her. Unfortunately, because she is under a sort of protective order through the police department, she can't have visitors. She's only allowed 4 visitors right now, and that's just myself and Veronica and her 2 family members, one of which is her sister. So that's what's going on. We're finally communicating with her. She doesn't quite remember who did this to her. She was kind of leaning towards the idea that somebody pushed her off the bridge, which is possible.
This is a repetition of what we went through before.
So
she went through.
You know, we hope that she can remember right now.
God willing.
You know, as she's starting to heal and her brain's not swollen like it was before, and
we've been
she's
in
starting
contact
to normalize.
with the detectives. So, you know, we want to help, you know, do whatever we can to support her.
We want justice, because what happened to her was so wrong, you guys. It was so wrong.
And she already put a police, she did a statement to the police about 3 months
days before.
ago. Yeah, so it was
2 days before this incident.
She's been in the hospital now. This is her 2nd month.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a couple of months. But we have her original police report that happened 2 days prior to this. Same exact thing being
it was her boyfriend that pushed her down the embankment, and she
it's
fell.
all concrete and solid.
And she hurt herself.
Big rocks. It's horrible.
Yeah. We took her to the hospital that one time, and she didn't want to stick around and wait to see what happened. We suspected she had a broken rib or 2, because she was complaining of
She was
chest
in a
pain.
lot of discomfort.
And then 2 days later, she was sleeping here that night. It was
And I told her not to leave. I told her, you stay on the couch. And that was around 3 o'clock in the morning. I checked on her.
The last day of June, and then she was gone.
She'd been sleeping for about 5 hours.
She was gone.
And then I went to bed for a few minutes. I came back out here at 4 in the morning. She was gone. Within a half hour. She was gone without me even knowing.
And during that time gap, between the time that she left here and went back to her encampment under the bridge, on top, where the canal is, where I always show you guys when I take the drone up in the neighborhood, she stays under that bridge with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's son and other people that come through there.
And that have historically abused her terribly. Serious abuse.
Yeah.
You know, hospitalization, surgery.
It's just not safe for any homeless person to be out. It's not safe out there. Mm-hmm. So we highly suspect the boyfriend did this to her, because he shoved her down the embankment 2 days before this happened. Mm-hmm. Because not even an hour after she had disappeared from here, an ambulance was called to pick up her body, which was found at the bottom of the embankment by the canal. Right alongside the canal, at the bottom of the embankment, the paramedics and the fire department had to go down and get her body. And then I got a call from the hospital a couple of hours later that morning asking if I could identify her, if I knew who she was. They had listed me as an emergency contact for another previous time. So she's been in and out of the hospital several times now. But, so she's doing a lot better. She's recovering, thank God. You know, my family's been praying for her. We've been praying for her. Her closest friends have been praying for her. So she's coming along.
So you all please keep her in your prayers as well.
Yeah, she's coming along.
Let's talk about
your painting.
Okay, here's the latest one.
Veronica decided to work on a new painting, and this one is called The Orchard. And you gotta see it. Let me get up and stretch it out.
And then we've got to move it up in increments so they can... Yeah, we're going to have to move it.
I'm gonna step behind the camera.
Okay.
And then you can hold it and talk about it. So I'm gonna zoom in on the pieces.
Okay.
That's the painting right there. It's beautiful.
Thank you. It doesn't have the finished varnish on it yet.
It's got the little fishies coming out. So
the tree.
I remember when you first started out with this painting, you just had the 4 simple trees.
Right.
You didn't even have shadows or anything. You didn't even have clouds. And you just layered upon layer, you started coming out with your clouds.
Different types of backgrounds. Like I had it on grass.
The geometrical figures.
I had some weeds, green weeds, and then I had some hills. Then I had some mountains, and I painted over all of that, apparently. And I like this optical illusion better. I'm really getting out of realism. Okay, are we done with this?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, notice that the roots, all of them are embracing each other. See if you look at the roots.
There's a cherry right there.
Oh, and the cherry has to be finished. Okay, so let's get on. Move on, right?
Okay.
Okay. So Jackie's going to set the camera back up.
Okay, we're rolling.
Okay, so we're rolling. So now I'm working on another piece. It's another abstract, and you can't see that yet. I'm kind of closed off when it comes to my painting. I don't like people to see them except Jackie until it's more polished and I have the design intact. And I have Jackie come in and she kind of curates for me and judges, like does it feel balanced and what don't you like, and she has an excellent eye. She is a designer in her own right, and she knows how to set up designs and colors and objects, that kind of thing. She's really gifted that way, very gifted. Anyway, so that one, that's about that one, and then the new piece, like I say, is an abstract.
I like it because it started off with the shape of a woman.
That's right.
And then it turned into this wild, pretty amazing abstract.
Yeah. So now
Veronica doesn't like to show her work until it's pretty much polished.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
So, but just to give you an idea, it's the same size as the orchard, which you just saw. Everyone for the first time got their first peek at Veronica's painting, The Orchard. Now her recent painting that's coming along quite well is the same size as The Orchard. But it's definitely
totally different.
It's developed and it's cultivated a blend of
geometric shapes
and colors. And that's something you're really good with, is color.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I noticed. She's very good with color, blending color, softening color, highlighting shadows. I mean, she's just very good with all of it.
Thank you.
She's been painting for over 40 years, 50 years. So, gotta give it to her. Gotta give it
Thank
to
you, honey.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
my sister.
Yeah.
She's the best, number one sister.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. So I haven't come up with any new pieces of art yet. I've just had, like I said, you know, just some healing going on. The arm that got broken was my dominant arm, my right arm. So I had to take a step back. I had to fill out some paperwork not too long ago that I held off on for like 2 weeks because I couldn't write with my right hand. Because I couldn't do any kind of movement.
It was so bad. It was so devastated that
I was in the hospital
damaged.
3 days.
It was damaged.
3 days. Now I'm on anti-seizure medication, 1,000 milligrams of that every day.
And the bruising was horrendous. It looked like, oh my God, it's
I
amazing.
fell off my bed.
It's amazing that her arm even survived it.
And
It
I
looked
landed
so
on my right
scary.
side. I landed on my right
Purple
side.
and
This
green
whole arm.
and blue and
whole arm.
just devastated.
This whole arm was purple. All of it, pretty much. It was
All the way up over here into here. It was just terrifying to look
Yeah.
at. For
But
me.
the bruising's gone. Yay.
Yes.
Yay. So, but, probably pretty soon here I'm going to work on something new. I'm just kind of going through some ideas in my head of what my next painting's going to be, what size it's going to be, and then I'll bring it out and show you guys. I usually like to show you as I work on it.
And remember, she does 2 types of visual arts. Not only does she paint, but she's a brilliant photographer. So when she's not working on a painting, she's constructing some type of, I've got to bring the camera, we've got to do this, and she shoots whatever. And she likes to do time shooting where she'll set it in a sky area and she'll pick where she likes the sky, and then she'll, what do you put it on?
It's a time lapse.
Time lapse, it's called.
Yeah.
Oh, they are so,
Yeah.
breathtaking. She's really good.
Yeah, especially
Really
when there's clouds in the sky and you do a time lapse, you get a really good feel for the motion of the wind, the breezes coming through.
She'll
the
capture
clouds
the
drifting away,
trees, which
the
gives
leaves
really
moving.
adds to the
So it's
movement
really
of it.
cool. I really love doing the time lapses with the camera. That's something that I learned to do a couple years ago, and I just enjoy it. Yeah.
And you're
The
very
dogs
good.
are doing good. Napoleon is obviously doing good. The other day, our car broke down, and it wasn't that far from here. It was really a couple blocks from here, and Veronica had to walk back because I was home with the AAA cart and with the phone. So Veronica had to walk back and leave the car there and bring Napoleon back home without a leash. And how did he do, Veronica?
He was excellent. So I'm walking him back a few blocks without a lead on him. So he just has his collar on, and I use verbal commands, and he stayed right by me and didn't go to people's yards, didn't try to cross the street. He's very well trained. He's just been superb. His Lucky is his mentor. Lucky is extremely trained, and she is a very, very good dog and a very good guard dog. She's taught him how to be a guard dog. She's taught him how to walk without a lead, with a lead, how to obey. Lucky is your perfect, perfect baby.
Yes, and so she sleeps with me,
And he
and
sleeps with
Napoleon sleeps with Veronica every night, and it's a perfect setup. It's I love it.
Yeah, we're very happy, and we both feel, we have that companionship with the dogs. So we have our bed partners, and it's just nice to have that warm body beside you, and you can put your arm out from under the blanket, and there's
feel
one of
fur.
the babies, and it just is very warm, and so we have a very pleasant life, and we're
Yeah.
happy.
And eventually, it's just, you guys, it is so hard to get your art out into the mainstream. We have been faced with challenge on top of challenge.
It really comes down to this. It's on me. I have not finished my artist statement. So before I send off my proofs, I have to select what galleries they're going to and to the curators. And then I have to make up more copies and send self-addressed stamped envelopes, 8 by 10 or 8 by 12, something like that, large. And because the photos are 8 by 10. Did you want to show them some of the photos?
Well, I want to show them the cards. These are cards that Veronica painted, and we're sending these to our Patreons. There's one. There's another one. There's this one. That one. Another face. This one right here. And this one. So these are personalized cards. They're going out to our patrons. They will be hand signed by Veronica. And
you will hand sign too.
Yeah, for all our patrons. So thank you, Patreons, for supporting us on Patreon. That's Museum Americana it's actually patreon.com/Museum Americana. I remember, we're on social media.
Join us.
Yeah.
You don't need to send us money unless you can afford $1 here or there. That would be lovely. But don't sweat it, you know. Be one of our followers.
You can always subscribe to us on YouTube. That doesn't cost you anything. That helps us out. It helps get our video content out into the YouTube algorithm. So any subscribes, that all helps. That all helps you guys. You don't have to be a Patreon. But if you do want to become a Patreon, I told you where to go.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you guys. That's pretty much it. We just wanted to get you guys caught up. We'll be putting out another video here pretty soon. We have a lot going on. We got a new tenant coming in, and we got some arrangements we've got to make for that. And Juliet, our beloved, is coming out to visit us the end of this month. And
her film is touring right now. She won that competition in
Italy.
Yeah, in Italy. And
at the Innuendo Film Festival.
And it's a very good film. It's especially for LGBTQ, your trans community, because the cast is almost all gay or trans. So in the crew especially, they are fantastic. She the Creator is the title of her full-length feature film, She the Creator. So we're going to have a preview and then a showing out here in Los Angeles. We'll arrange that really soon. But she's doing really well. She's, thank God, you know, she inherited the best traits of her father. And her father, you know, Saint Jake is my husband, the second husband used to call him, third husband actually, because 2 of them have passed, from one brain cancer, one from ALS. And the last husband, Dennis, he's lives in another state. We love each other, we're friends, but we can't live together. You know, I'm very difficult and he's very difficult. So there you have it. What can you do? Although I've been out of prison for 20 years now.
Yeah.
There's still quite a bit of prisonization that I carry, not institutionalization, but prisonization, where, you know, you carry your way a certain way. And although I consider myself in the con class, you know, you're either a convict or a prisoner or an inmate. I've always been the con. And that you say with pride. Why? Because there are I carried myself with honor, not lying, not cheating, not stealing. Yeah, I broke security in the prison. You know, if we have marijuana or something, I'm not going to tell the cops and they're searching for where I stashed the weed, you know. But basically it was just because I was a female activist registered with the New York Bar, and I registered personal restraint petitions, habeas corpuses, suits, filing protective orders, divorces, while I was inside. So,
Yeah, she was a jailhouse lawyer.
so because of that, I wound up contacting a lot of local, like Department of Agriculture, when there's maggots in our food that they're serving us because it's years too old, and so they had to dump. I don't know how much, 3/4 of a ton of dry commodities. And then the frozen meats, I don't know how much of that they had to get rid of. Because it used to be that the cooks I'd watch them because I did cook duty. And I was there at night. So you're cooking your pot, you're cleaning your pots, you've cooked for a couple of hundred people. And now you've got to clean up all the pots, and they're humongous. They're the size of big, huge garbage cans. And anyway, so you have to clean all those. You got to make sure your kitchen is immaculate, yada, yada, yada. Freezers, the whole 9 yards. And one of the things I witnessed were the cooks, not all the cooks, but there was a set of 3 cooks in particular that the good cuts and the fresh meats, they would steal from the prisoners and take it away in a station wagon. And so that's why we had the old
stealing
food
the food from the prison
to take home for their own friends and family.
Giving the prisoners the old rancid food.
Right.
So that was so wrong.
Yeah, they should have dumped that food. But at any rate, it is what it is. Was what it was.
Okay.
So I still have some of the ways about me, you know, being that convict type, where I'm pretty strict about certain things and boundaries, especially, aren't I?
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's a violation of a boundary. And she has her boundaries, I have my boundaries. The dogs have theirs. Every living creature has boundaries. And we as human beings need to respect the boundaries of these other creatures and of all life. You know, that means the grass, the trees, the, you know, nature. Everything, yeah. And one of the things that I've instilled in Jackie, and I preach this whoever I'm with, if you're going to invest part of your life in obtaining an antique or something that you value, whether it be a couch or whatever, then respect it. Take care of it. That's really basically it. Take care of what you do have and respect it. You know, it's a product, it's a good. You know, I don't believe in throwing away clothes and all of that. We donate them. I like going to Salvation Army once every 5 years, 4 years. And I'll pick up some different things, you know, whatever. And we're still in the process of donating some of our stuff, because we do buy new stuff all the time. She does. She's our great shopper. And then we go to some stores and get new stuff. But at any rate, we have what we want.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine.
We're good.
We're okay. Yeah. So.
Oh, I just tried this lesbian dating site called Her. And I met one woman that I may see, I don't know. But I only went on that site one time, because you have to encourage yourself and embolden yourself. And you have to be in a certain state of mind to do that. And part of me is really reluctant to meeting strangers, simply because I tend to be more reticent and not that open, you know. I don't go out. We don't go out to bars and
No, it's
parties.
been a long time.
And, yeah.
It's been a long time.